These are going to be the biggest culture shocks I've had here living in Thailand for the past 5 years and having left America. Now, this video might be a little bit controversial. The point here is to kind of share some surprises that have happened here in Thailand. Now, before I start the video, if you're interested in becoming a digital nomad and pursuing content creation and want to be personally mentored by me, then DM me the word content on Instagram down below. We're here in beautiful Hostility Park, my favorite park here in Bangkok. And let's go and begin with the first point. So the first point is something that I didn't know, and I was super naive when I first came to Thailand. Status and consumerism and these hierarchies, they are everywhere. You know, as I've lived here longer and longer, status and hierarchy and image, it's so important here. And Thailand presents itself as very sabai, very relaxed. Beneath the surface is a lot of hierarchy. Things like brand names, cars, your handbag, your watch, your fashion, your appearance, your complexity of your skin, your last name, your education. These things have a lot of social weight. And it's easy for foreigners to come here and not really be involved in any of that because it's really just Thai society. And I feel like foreigners are kind of outside of this Thai society, of this Thai hierarchy, this social system. I feel like foreigners kind of exist outside of it, but it is just a good thing to be aware of, you know? You want to come here and look presentable. You kind of want to mesh in with the, you know, the status games or the status hierarchies here, as in you don't want to make a fool of yourself if you're here long term. And I have definitely been adjusting. You know, when I first came here to Thailand, I didn't really care what I looked like. I didn't really care what I wore. I didn't really care the places I go to. But now, especially as I build a brand for myself, I mean, I care a lot more. Every single day I'm dressed in good clothes, wearing fragrance, just aware of status, aware of social judgments and all these things. The point here is not to criticize it, just to be aware of it, you know? And even though the average income here in Thailand is not a lot, you'll see a lot of people prioritizing a lot of their funds towards their lifestyle, towards looking good, towards beauty clinics, towards, you know, a Gucci handbag or whatever. It's prioritized here. Culture shock number 2 is saving face is a lot more important than being right. Social harmony here is the #1 most important thing. Maintaining social order, maintaining social harmony. And I think the West could learn a lot from this. Thinking more collectively instead of individualistically. Thinking about your neighbors, thinking about how your voice might be too loud in the trains, or how about how you don't want to make a snark comment in a group of friends. You know what I mean? Like, it's so important to save face and to not be confrontational, and even at the expense of inconvenience. Like, for me, I'm very raised with Western values. If there's an inconvenience, I'm gonna let my opinions known. I'm gonna voice my opinion. I'm gonna let my opinion be known, right? But here in Thailand, let's say, for example, the maintenance is not coming or something's broken in my condo and it takes days to fix it. I'm like impatient. I'm like, man, this thing needs to get fixed. It's been too long of a time. But I feel like a lot of times in Thailand, you can't really be confrontational like that. You've got to be like, oh, you know, it's been a couple days, you know, when is this going to be fixed? You know, you have to you can't be super direct and aggressive with it, you know? So if there's an issue, Thai people here might smile and nod, even though they might internally disagree or think something else. And this doesn't mean that they're malicious or they're being fake or something like that. It just means they prioritize maintaining social order at all costs. And I understand, you know, it's really nice to live in a collectivist society where everybody's nice and everything is like harmonious. But sometimes it takes a little bit of getting used to. Culture shock number 3 has to do with lèse majesté. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And defamation, right? As in, you cannot criticize the leaders, you cannot talk bad about the authority. And people don't usually think of Thailand in this kind of, you know, like not having freedom of speech, right? People think of China. People always criticize China as in like, oh, you can't protest, you can't say anything bad about the government or you'll disappear. People love to like bash China for that, but Thailand has a lot of those same laws, but no one ever really talks about that. And I'm not here to criticize this, by the way. I'm fine with not criticizing the government. Me as a foreigner, I'm a guest here. I'm not trying to be a social activist, but it is a thing. You know, I've seen foreigners here, I've seen influencers make comments about certain things in Thailand that were critical, and then they've got consequences. I heard of a Chinese influencer, she had like 1 million followers on TikTok or Douyin, and she talked about Nana Plaza and how it seemed so dirty, and about how all the women were like prostitutes and all the men were, you know, like aggressive or something like that. And she basically suffered consequences. So even when I make these videos, I gotta be quite careful what I say. If you're someone who's die-hard about freedom of speech and social activism, then just know that you can't have those same freedoms in Thailand. Now, just right quick, if you travel often or live abroad like me, you know how stressful and expensive it can be getting a connection once you land. Your airplane just landed and you're exhausted and you have to try to find a SIM card booth and hope you're not getting scammed. It's honestly just an unnecessary stress that you shouldn't have to deal with. That's why I partnered with Saily eSIM. It's an eSIM data app that connects the second you land in a new country. It works in over 200 destinations and you never need to worry about swapping SIM cards again. It's also built by the same team behind NordVPN, so you know it's going to be secure and reliable. And what sets Saily eSIM apart from other eSIMs is that it comes with built-in web protection and an ad blocker, which keeps you safer online. It also has a data saving mode that saves you up to 28% of your data while you browse online. All you have to do is download the app, pick the destination, and pick your data plan, and then the second you land, you're immediately connected. And you only need to install it once. So if you have a trip coming up, make sure to download the Saily app, and you can use my code PAUL for 15% off. I'll have the link in the description. Culture shock number 4 is that there's a silent hostility between foreigners here in Thailand. Now, you would expect that a lot of Thai people would become hostile and discriminatory of other foreigners coming into their land, into their country, but it's the opposite. Foreigners here, the longer they stay, the more they become hostile of other foreigners. And I'm telling you, if you ever make the mistake of posting on a Thailand Facebook group, asking an innocent question like, hey, what's the best visa? People will literally roast you. People will literally tell you to go back home and that you're making Thailand a worse place, or that you're gonna get chewed up. Thailand is gonna chew you up. You know, you're not ready here in Thailand. You're just gonna get robbed by a Thai woman, or like just making these hugely crazy claims. And they have such negative opinions and criticisms of Thailand, of foreigners, of Thai women, and of the expenses. They're saying, oh, all these foreigners here are making everything so expensive. Or I remember when Pad Thai was 10 baht. You know, like it's as if they blame all their problems on Thai women or other foreigners, right? And especially influencers. They hate influencers. And it's typically the older expats here who don't know a single word of Thai, who live in Pattaya and who live on Facebook. I'm telling you, they're the most hostile foreigners. Yeah, you just meet a lot of foreigners here who have become jaded. You know, they have expected Thailand to fix their problems back in the West, and then they come to Thailand and then they have issues such as money issues or like divorce issues or relationship issues, and they just become really resentful. And they see this fresh incoming crowd of new foreigners and they think that they're out to ruin Thailand, as if they discovered Thailand first and all these other people are going to ruin it. And I'm not entirely here to say that all their criticisms are wrong, but it's just that the way they communicate this message, the way they deliver it, the way they're so harsh and they don't reflect on their own lives, and they just try to deliver this really negative hostility towards other foreigners here, when they're the guests themselves. It's as if, like, for example, we're in a Thai home and we have guests, you know, foreigner guests coming into the home. They act as if they're the Thai owner. They act as if they're the owner of the home when they themselves are a guest as well. So that's my point. You're typically not going to run into hostile foreigners in person. It's always online. It's always on Facebook, and ever so slightly on Instagram, but not really. And YouTube is actually probably the most respectful community, I think. Like, Thailand doesn't create bitter people. It just exposes who you already are and problems that you already have that you've never fixed. Thailand, a lot of people move to Thailand to fix all their problems, and it does fix a lot of problems, but it can't fix a lot of these deeper issues. And that's why a lot of foreigners here become extremely hostile and bitter. The next culture shock, which is actually quite a negative one, is that cheating is extremely common here in Thailand. I read a statistic that Thailand is like ranked number 1 in terms of most unfaithful relationships, as in most people cheating, right? And, you know, you could ask, you know, is it because Thai people are the most honest and they submitted yes on the survey, or is it because there's actually so much infidelity, right? But it is kind of like common here. As in, they even have a Thai nickname, right? They even have a Thai phrase, Mia Noi. Mia Noi means like smaller wife, as in like a side partner, right? It's just like, they even have a term for it because it's so common. And you'll see this cheating happen in foreigner relationships, in Thai relationships. It's just something that's really, really almost like not that big of a deal, I think. Whereas in the West, cheating is it's such a big deal, right? And I think this is why a lot of Thai women become detective mode when they get a foreigner boyfriend. You know, they want to see where they're at every single minute of the day. They want to check their phones. They want to just always ask like where you at, who are you with and stuff. It's because they've probably been cheated on before. And cheating here exists across all genders and across all social classes, right? Between Thai women, between Thai men, between foreign men. I don't know about foreigner women. Never really, I don't know. I don't know anything about foreigner women in terms of dating, in terms of here in Thailand. But yeah, and I feel like the social response in the West is a lot more extreme than it is here in Thailand. In Thailand, in the relationships, it's kind of brushed off. It's kind of like swept under the rug. Whereas in the West, I feel like it'd be really big issue. Like people will get fired from their jobs if they found out. You know, they'd be like maybe outcasted or judged harshly from their friends or their peer groups or their colleagues. Whereas in Thailand, I feel like it's a lot more swept under the rug, as in, I don't know. This is just my opinion. I could be totally wrong here. But basically what I'm saying is that I feel like cheating is really, really common here in Thailand. The next one is a new trend I've been seeing a lot on social media. Is that people are comparing Bangkok to New York City, as in they're calling it Bangkok is the new New York City. And you could argue that there's other cities that are more comparable, but I'm talking about the energy of Bangkok. It's so comparable to my life in New York City. I'm talking about it's so exciting, man. You have this energy, you have this motivation, going to clubs, going to nightlife, of dating, of this really fresh, like energetic kind of hustle bustle culture. And I think there are so many commonalities between Bangkok and New York City. First off, they're both extremely world class. They're both really hyper developed and then also quite underdeveloped in some areas. They both are extremely diverse, both have so much rich history and culture, both have so much to offer, so much to do, so much excitement, so many people, so many opportunities. And it gives you this kind of motivational energy, as in you want to strive, you want to accumulate, you want to become better, you want to fit in, you want to increase your status, you want to increase your wealth. There's really that strong energy here in Bangkok. As opposed to if I was living in Pattaya or like Da Nang, Vietnam, or like maybe some other remote island, or maybe like Bali, I feel like that energy doesn't really exist there. So if you're someone who really likes hustle bustle energy, to be right in the middle of the city, to be in an urban environment with a lot of opportunities and a lot of noise and a lot of people, then I think you're gonna absolutely love Bangkok. The next culture shock is Thai dating can be extremely fast. I mean, this was probably one of the biggest culture shocks I had here, especially in the beginning. Like, I'm gonna give you like the timeline of what it's like as from a male's perspective, dating here in Thailand. You have the first date with a Thai woman and it goes extremely well. Then you're gonna see her tomorrow. And then she's probably gonna sleep over, move in a little bit of her stuff, maybe her combs, maybe her makeup bag or whatever. And then during that whole entire week, you might see her 4 times of that entire week. And then there's gonna be questions like, oh, are you texting anybody else? Or who are you texting? Or, you know, am I the only one you're talking to? Or, you know, it's gonna become, the ball's gonna be moving really, really fast. Whereas if you were to date in the West, for example, you would see each other maybe 4 times of the entire month, right? Because I feel like people in the West are a lot more like busier, or they're a lot more independent. So you'll only see each other once a week, and typically only on the weekends, right? You'll never move in with each other unless you're married, right? It's very uncommon for people to move in together as in the boyfriend-girlfriend stage, especially in the early months. But here in Thailand, it's extremely common to move in with each other after like a month of dating, after 3 months of dating, right? And yeah, the speed is really, really quick. Thai women will get really, really possessed and really attached to you very early on, right? They'll want to be exclusive extremely early. Whereas in the West, I feel like it's a bit more normalized to be dating multiple partners at once, to have like essentially a roster of different people you're meeting, and then maybe you'll pick, you know, which one's the best, right? You'll prioritize which one's the best. But here in Thailand, it could be date number 2 and she'll want you to be exclusive, or she'll become really jealous if you're texting another girl, or she comes to your place and there's like another girl's hair, or there's like a makeup cleanser pad in the trash can, right? Indicating that there was another girl there previously. I'm not here to criticize it necessarily, because it just really means that they really like you. And whereas in the West, I feel like they're gonna give you a lot of space, especially in the beginning, right? And then they're gonna slowly become more exclusive. But that was the same case with me and my ex-girlfriend, and also me and my current girlfriend. We moved extremely fast, and I actually liked it, you know? I mean, I really liked my current Thai girlfriend. So I actually welcomed her to stay over my place, sleep over, moved in some of her things, because it's more convenient, and I want to provide for her. I want to spend time with her more and more. So again, I'm not here to criticize it, but the speed is very, very fast here in Thailand. The last one is going to be kind of a odd one, an oddball, a little interesting one. As in, ladyboys here are extremely good looking, right? This is going to be probably a controversial opinion, but everywhere in the West, 90% of the time you can tell if someone's a transgender, right? If you can tell that they were biologically a male sex, right? And I'm not here to criticize them or like make this political speech or whatever. I'm just saying if I gave you $1,000 to identify who is a transgender in America, you would get $1,000 because you would probably nail it every single time. But if I gave you $1,000 to tell me who out of these 10 people are ladyboys, you would probably not get the $1,000. You probably wouldn't know, right? That's the only thing I'm saying right now. They do such a good job in looking like a female in terms of like their waists, in terms of the surgeries they do, in terms of their presentation, their makeup. I mean, they look like a woman. And oftentimes there's a quote in Thailand, the most beautiful women in Thailand are not women. That's a quote that you'll hear on and on again. I gotta keep my voice down. I don't know if people are hearing me right now, but it's just like if you're a foreigner coming here to Thailand, you're not gonna know. There are some telltale signs, but it's really hard to tell, especially at the beginning. So yeah, I don't know. Shit, am I gonna get canceled for saying this? But yeah, that's just a culture shock you should know if you're first time visiting Thailand. So that's it for me today. These are my culture shocks. Let me know if I missed out on any in the comments below. And if you're interested in creating a personal brand in 2026 and you wanna get personally mentored by me in terms of creating content, then go ahead and follow me on Instagram and DM me the word content and I'll reach out to you there. So thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next video.